Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carla and I like all things stationery. In today's video, we are looking at my 2025 fall swap project. This swap happens every year and it is created by Vivian from the Paper Letter blog. Every year I tell myself that I have enough time to make something, and every year I struggle to finish and usually send my swap a little bit late. Yes, I am still working on this. There were two questions that I asked myself, and the answer gave me the idea for this project. Question number one was, what can I do with the envelopes of mails that I receive? This is letters that I get that have some nice windows already in them. And the question number two was, can I bind individual pages into a book? You know, when your pages are too small to make page inserts. The answer to the second question is yes, you can definitely create a book when you only have single pages. And since I can do that, then I can use these envelopes with windows that I have been hoarding in these single page booklets. Since you are supposed to send quite a few items on a swap, I wanted my book to have a few mandatory sections. A place to put stickers, washi tape samples, and I also wanted to add some non-sticky paper to include stickers from a sticker book without actually cutting the book. I started with the envelope that had the window. I had this one for a while now, and it had this giant window right in the middle, and I did not want just to fold it in half and then the window itself would be used as the fold. Instead, I thought that this could create two really good pockets. So I folded this in half, trimmed the top off so it would have straight edges, and cut it into pieces. I glued one of the sides to create the pocket. The glue here does not really stick well, and you will see later on that I will have to redo this. Then I used these newly created pockets to take some measurements for the cover of the book. I used this nice sticker paper that I purchased a while back on a sale. I added a little bit extra since I like the covers to be slightly bigger than the sheets inside the book. The last section of this book will be some non-sticky paper that I will use to stick some stickers on. I really like to add this to my projects. It's a great way to share stickers from different collections without having to do a lot of weird cuttings. It's also a great way to use the back of my sticker paper that is left over after I print and use the stickers. Now, the fact that these sheets were not the same size as the pockets did take me by surprise and left me a bit sad, but I thought I would just plow through and embrace the different sized sheets. Since I often do learn from my mistakes, the next step on this project was to decorate everything that needed to be decorated. This would include both book covers as well as the two pockets. And this is because later on I will stitch all of these together, and it would be really hard and awkward to try to decorate after the stitching is done. This is still one of my most time-consuming tasks because I'm often not sure how to proceed. I'm getting better at not overthinking things, but it still takes me some time to choose which papers I want to use, what goes well with what, and where is that specific paper that I'm thinking of right now? As usual, I want to use as much as what I have, leaving as little scrap paper leftovers as possible. After checking a few options, I choose this very simple handmade paper. This has been my go-to when I cannot decide on what other thing to use. It took me a while to start using these, but mostly because I kind of forgot I had them. But ever since I found them, I have been using them on all or almost all of my projects. I do have other papers, colorful ones, but I think it's so much easier to build on something neutral. To keep the project cohesive, I used the same paper on the back cover as well. I created a small pocket at the back of the front cover using one of the papers I got from a Your Creative Studio stationery boxes. I will be using quite a lot of papers from these stationery boxes, since 3 months of this subscription left me with enough material to last for years. For this second pocket, I am using some leftover fall theme paper from a magazine, and since it had a bit of writing, I covered it up with some stickers. This project was really good for my goal to use a lot of stickers from the sticker book. You will see me peruse it a lot during this video. And yes, I know I could just rip the pages off and cut the stickers from here to send out, but I want this book to become my sticker book in the future. The one place I will put the stickers that I make at home, so I'm determined not to take out any of the pages. With the cover of the book decorated and the front parts of the pockets also finished, it's time to focus my attention on the back of those. I considered using this William Morris design paper that I got, about 4 years ago when I attended a gathering for Penpaling at the Post Museum in Stockholm, but decided to go with a combination of other papers instead. Of course, I needed the opportunity to create even more pockets. I went for a type of reverse design, where on one side of the paper I used a music sheet as the backing and this dark pattern as the pocket, and on the other side I reversed it with the pattern paper as the backing side and the music sheet as the pocket. Then, all that was left to do regarding the individual parts of the book was to glue the non-sticky papers so I could use both sides of them. I got this glue roll from a shop here in Sweden, and I even got a charger for it, and oh boy do I regret it. It just feels wrong The glue strip does not stop when I stop applying pressure. It kind of stretches like it's some type of patty. It makes things a bit more complicated than what they should be when I use this glue and I can just stop it when I want to. Now that all the book pages are sort of completed, it's time to bind it. I chose an orange cotton string and spent some time trying to understand how to assemble all the different sized pieces of paper in a way that would guarantee that all the holes I was planning would be in a good location in all of them. Once I made up my mind, I secured the project with a clamp, took a deep breath and made 3 holes where I think they looked okay. After trying the straight needle a little, I realized that it would not work, so I changed it to the curved one. I measured the yarn at about 4 times the size of the book that I was going to bind, and I started to stitch it. First going through the middle hole, then to one of the edges, going back to the other edge and back to the middle where I tied it with a knot. Finally, I created some creases along the spine so the book would be easily opened up. And now it was time to add decorations. You might remember these little boxes from a previous video. I got them from Craftly and I'm enjoying using them. They are working really well for my small papers, but they're not working in a nice way for my flake and individual stickers. Also, I do not have a good storage organization solution for my sticker sheets. So I actually ordered some more things from Craftly to try to tackle this. I will obviously record it when I get it, and I will show you how I plan to use them. I feel like I'm slowly reaching a stage where it will be okay and good to start creating again and crafting again. At this moment, I'm still kind of frozen by the fact that I can no longer do it for long periods of time and that I would have to put everything away and tidy the table whenever I have to stop. And I'm not saying that this is impossible. It's just something that is not natural for me. And as such, it's taking me longer to get back on track. If you follow me for a while, you know, and you can see through my footage, that each project takes me several days to complete. This was when I had a separate table for crafting. But over the last few months, I realized that we had to reduce the amount of furniture in our apartment. Not only to make it safer for our son to play, but also to create space for him to run around and spread his toys without us feeling cluttered and out of space. So I put away the table that I was using for crafting and decided to keep only our desk. Consequently, this is the place I used to work during the days and where my Sambo relaxes during the evenings. So I really cannot occupy it with bits of papers and stickers for several days. I think I have some sort of solution, but I need to finish this video and organize a few more things before I put it to the test. But worry not, you will probably notice if I'm suddenly able to craft again. As I record this, we're going through another cold, as you can probably hear in my voice. I'm really hoping that the approaching spring can be the end of this non-stop sequential sickness. I'm tired of not being able to breathe through my nose, and this voice is not doing me any favors. There are no major updates since the last video when it comes to hobbies. I still have not chosen what my next knitting project will be. And I am still playing Stardew Valley. This time around, I'm hoping to finally reach 100% completion. Some time ago, I decided to cancel all my TV subscriptions, so I'm not watching or following anything in particular. I am trying to get back to the old times when these things did not exist and we would just watch whatever was on TV. That's what I have been doing. And I do watch a lot of YouTube, so paying for some more subscription does not really seem like a wise thing to do. When it comes to reading, I finished In Practical Magic from Emily Grimoire and The Cat Who Saved Books by Susuke Natsukawa. It is still in my plan to start a book journal, so maybe sometime in the future you will hear my opinions on these. I just finished reading As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner and I'm listening to The Handmaid's Tale. I did not really like William Faulkner and I'm not sure I'm enjoying The Handmaid's Tale, but we will see when I get to the end. Once the main project was done, it was time to decorate the envelope. I usually start with the envelope and then move to the project, but in this case I did not want to risk decorating an envelope that would be too small for the book I wanted to do. At the same time, I did not want to take any measurements of the book. So this was a win-win situation for me. You might remember that I had considered this napkin design for the back of the book covers. Since I did not use it there, I thought it would be a great idea to use it for the envelope itself. The great thing was that the napkin covered the whole envelope. It has been so long since I did anything that even my glue was dry. Nothing a needle wouldn't solve. I cut the excess napkin and, very unlike myself, I threw away what was left. No more keeping any tiny bit of leftover paper and feeling guilty about throwing them away. Fortunately, there was plenty more napkins and papers to be used. I went back to the sticker book in search for more label stickers, and I also started to mark the pages where there were fall theme stickers. Mostly anything with mushrooms. None of the labels was to my liking and I was skeptical about the material they are made of, apart from always having some problems keeping them glued down to the paper. I wasn't sure what type of pen I could use with them. I never actually tested this. So instead I opted for a classical paper label, and I will use a big mushroom from the sticker book as decoration. Since these stickers can be hard to peel off without tearing them, I wanted to see if I could instead remove the empty sticker sheet. This was quite easy and made the removal of the individual stickers much easier. At this point, I also gathered around some more decoration material that could be related to fall, either fall motifs or colors. I used some washi tape to add extra sturdiness to the envelope and tried to prevent the napkin from ungluing from the envelope on the sides. I glued the label and added some stickers, and we are done. All that is left is to pack everything up. I gave up trying to write things in nice letters, and I just don't really have the time for it anymore. So I wrote something also in small font so that it's easy for someone else to cover it up and reuse the whole project. I selected a bunch of washi tapes and prepared 2 sample cards. I tried to make as many washi tapes fit in these as I can. In the first pocket, I placed a small letter for the receiver of the swap. Then, on the see-through pockets, I added the flake stickers. I think most of the things I sent were from the Your Creative Studio stationery boxes, and some of the things I purchased or were gifted to me by Penpals. I added the washi tapes and these rectangular stickers to the other 2 pockets. Finally, all that was left was to choose some stickers from the book and add them to my non-stick paper. As usual, I have some problems with the stickers lying flat, but I worked around it by making sure there were no creases, applying some pressure, and making sure to keep the book closed while I chose more things to add. The main goal were for these to reach their destination in good condition and to be ready to be used. I have used this same non-sticky paper with other types of stickers and it has worked perfectly fine, so I believe it is something with this sticker book in particular. Here is an overview of the full book. I'm also sending some papers and a fall theme postcard. These last papers I had to fold. I usually try to avoid doing this, but sometimes you can't really avoid it. And that's it. A fall swap project that took me way too long to complete. As usual, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day. See you soon. Bye.